Welcome to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe in the studios of our flagship station, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. In addition, today, as always, we're also joined by Birmingham Area Municipal Access and City Cable 15 of Southfield. Both those two channels, as well as Civic Center TV, can be found on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. You can also find us on Comcast Channel 10 and AT&T Channel 99 live and live to tape on the Media Network of Waterford and Orion Neighborhood Television. Join us also on the radio in Troy and Birmingham in the Bloomfield Hills area on 88.1 The Biff, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District operating out of Bloomfield Hills High School, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can find us online on our social media on Facebook pages, facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15 and facebook.com/LakesFM, as well as on our website, civiccentertv.com. And just click on our Watch Live link. That'll be on the top of the page if you're on your computer web browser, and on the left margin drop-down screen if you're on your mobile phone. You can also find us online on My Michigan TV or MyMy. Just go to their website, mymytv.com, and you'll be able to watch us live over there, as well as find more information about all the places you can get the MyMy TV app, the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone and on your smart TV, as well as find all their other original and imported programming from all across the Great Lakes state. You can learn more about all the places that we broadcast live and live to tape, as well as find all of our interviews and full shows on demand by going to civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link, or just typing in civiccentertv.com/Megacast. And then right next door to that on our website is our coronavirus page, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where we have a lot of helpful links for key information about COVID-19 and more in our community, from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the state of Michigan, Oakland County, and many of our local municipalities as well. So you can get all the information you need about COVID-19 from your hometown, from your home county, if you're here in Oakland County, where we originate our broadcast, and we encourage you to go to your county's health department webpage if you're watching us or listening to us anywhere else in the state of Michigan as well, even though they may not be listed on our coronavirus page. You can also get information from the state of Michigan's Health and Human Services Department by clicking on the State of Michigan link. And of course, the Centers for Disease Control resources, always helpful, so you can learn more about the spread of COVID-19, about the variants of COVID-19, about the vaccines and booster shots that are available for adults, as well as the vaccines now available for children ages 5 to 11. And sign up and find more information about where you can get COVID-19 vaccinations if you're seeking them, or if you're seeking a booster shot, if your kids are eligible for vaccines and you want to be getting them vaccinated, or if you just have questions. And it's okay to have questions. It's okay to be confused about this stuff. A lot of people are. This is a novel coronavirus. This pandemic is something that most of us have not experienced before. The vast majority of us, and a very few of us that may have been alive during the pandemic in the previous century, are really the only ones that have had any similar experience to this before. So we're all learning. And that includes learning more about these vaccines, learning more about precautionary measures. If you have questions, the best place to get those answered are from these experts: Centers for Disease Control, Michigan Health and Human Services Department, and the Oakland County Health Division, all of which are linked at our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. In addition to that, we have news articles from across the state of Michigan making headlines on the COVID front and beyond each and every day. And today, our top story is on the COVID front, as cases continue to be on the rise, and we continue in this latest Delta variant spike. COVID-19 hospitalizations in Michigan have reached a 7-month high. This is from the Detroit News. Hospitalizations hit a 7-month high on Monday, with more than 3,000 people ailing from the virus, and with a surge of cases having added 21,034 cases and 95 deaths from the virus over the past 3 days. In the last 7 days, only one state reported more cases than Michigan based on the latest state data. Michigan ranks 8th in the country for the highest positive case rate by population. The state also reached its goal of getting 70% of ages 16 and older with at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccination 2 months later than was initially expected. The state also reached Michigan hospitalizations have increased nearly 20% for 2 straight weeks. Should it continue on that trajectory, Michigan could have 4,000 patients hospitalized within the next 2 weeks, according to data. As of Monday, 3,040 adults and 41 children are hospitalized with confirmed COVID cases, and another 159 are hospitalized with suspected cases, that according to state data. At least 698 adults are in the ICU and 381 are on ventilators statewide. John Karazinski, spokesman of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, said the growth is concerning, with hospitals experiencing a 40% increase in daily emergency department patients since October of 2020. Overall bed capacity in Michigan hospitals is 10% higher than what Michigan experienced in the fall surge when the state peaked December 1st, 2020, with 4,283 COVID hospitalizations. Quote, the sharp rise in COVID-19 hospitalizations continues to stress an already strained healthcare system, Karazinski said. He continued, the Grand Rapids region has now surpassed their spring peak, while hospitalizations in Traverse City's region are at an all-time high. This dramatic rise in cases and resulting hospitalizations is a reminder of the importance of getting vaccinated and receiving a booster dose. If eligible, as the growth is driven largely by unvaccinated patients. About 11.6% of hospital beds are filled with COVID-19 patients, up from 10.5% in the week prior. There has been an average of 2,141 emergency room visits related to COVID-19 every day in the state. Hospitals need the public's help and encourage residents to get themselves, their children, and others not only vaccinated against COVID-19, but also influenza, or as it's known by its friends, the flu. The public should expect longer waiting times at the emergency room because of high patient numbers and staffing shortages, he said, while encouraging positive test individuals to consider receiving monoclonal antibody treatments, quote, which are statistically proven to decrease the risk of hospitalization, and closed quote. Last week, the state added 31,000 cases, just a little bit over, and just under 300 deaths from the virus, an increase from the week prior when the state had just over 29,000 cases and just under 300 deaths, almost identical number of deaths this week compared to last week from the virus. On November 15th of 2020, Governor Whitmer announced her administration's pause to save lives, bringing wide-ranging restrictions limiting gatherings at high schools, colleges, and restaurants to combat what she described as the worst movement, quote-unquote, yet in the COVID-19 pandemic. Those restrictions were ended in June. Michigan remains at high transmission rate, and the state's percentage of test results returning positive has increased from last week. Outbreaks have been steadily increasing also in Michigan over the past few weeks, but the number of COVID-19 outbreaks in Michigan K-12 schools actually dropped to 87 clusters, a decrease from last week's numbers, representing 521 new cases statewide, according to health data from the state. Last week, the state reported 104 schools with new outbreaks and 666 new cases in K-12 schools. No new college or university outbreaks were reported. That full article from the Detroit News on our website at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. As mentioned in there, John Karazinski from the Michigan Health and Hospitals Association says his organization encouraging not only COVID-19 vaccination, but also influenza vaccination this season, and it's already beginning to wreak havoc in some places, including on the campus of U of M Ann Arbor. This from the Detroit Free Press. Influenza is sweeping the University of Michigan's Ann Arbor campus with 528 cases diagnosed at the University Health Service since October 6th. The outbreak is so sudden and large, 313 cases were identified the week of November 8th alone, and 37% of flu tests that week were positive. That has drawn the attention of the federal health leaders at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who will be on campus this week trying to learn more about the spread of the virus and the effectiveness of this year's flu vaccine. Among those who contracted flu at U of M this fall, 77% didn't get a flu vaccine. The cases were identified as influenza A, or H3N2, said Lindsay Mortensen, UHS Medical Director and Acting Executive Director. The work of the Health Department will be supported by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the university, and a team from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In Ann Arbor, the team will evaluate flu vaccine uptake and vaccine effectiveness and risk factors for spread by collecting samples from patients at the University Health Service, providing data analysis and conducting questionnaires. Health leaders are concerned about the timing of the increase in cases in Ann Arbor, as many students plan to travel soon for the Thanksgiving break. They are calling on as many people as possible to get flu vaccines before that. Quote, "We strongly recommend anyone not yet vaccinated against seasonal flu to do so," said an official from the university. "And anyone at higher risk of severe flu complications should see their doctor about prescription antiviral medications at the first sign of symptoms." Fewer Michiganders have taken flu vaccines this year compared to the same time in 2020. As of November 6th, the state health department reported 2.01 million flu shots had been administered so far statewide, covering about 20% of the population. Comparatively, last year, 3.14 million doses had been given as of that same time period, covering about 31% of the population. People who get flu vaccines help to protect those around them, including people who are more vulnerable to severe flu illness, like infants and young children, older people, and those with certain chronic health conditions. The same tools that work for the spread of COVID also work against flu, including wearing a mask in indoor places and outdoor crowded places, getting vaccinated, staying home when you're sick, washing your hands often, and covering your coughs and sneezes. Not with your hands, do it with your elbow, like this. You're like a vampire. It's still spooky season when there's COVID and there's flu involved. Coughing and sneezing into your hand doesn't do anything but spread those germs to other surfaces where people just pick them up. So, don't be a dummy. Cough into your elbow instead. Flu vaccines are widely available at doctors' offices and drugstores. In addition, the Washtenaw County Health Department offers flu vaccines at the same time as COVID vaccination, as do many places, including the Oakland County Health Division. You can learn more and schedule a time for both a flu and COVID vaccination together if you haven't gotten either by going to civiccentertv.com, clicking on the Oakland County link, and then navigating to the link middle of the page there, just a little bit down, that says Vaccine Hub, or just go straight to OaklandCountyVaccine.com. That full article from the Detroit Free Press on our website at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. And lastly, making headlines today, the popular vote petition could appear on the Michigan ballot next year. This is from Bridge Michigan Magazine. Michigan voters next year could decide whether the state should eventually award all of its electoral college votes to the presidential candidate who received the most votes nationwide. On Monday, the Michigan Board of Canvassers approved the petition language of the bipartisan, quote-unquote, Yes on the National Popular Vote campaign. If the group collects 340,047 valid voter signatures within 180 days, the proposal would go on the 2022 ballot. The main backers of the petition are Mark Brewer, former chair of the Michigan Democratic Party, and Saul Anusis, the former chair of the Michigan Republican Party. Quote, "We want to make sure that every voter in every election is politically relevant every time," said Anusis to Bridge on Monday. Presidential candidates need at least 270 of 538 votes from the Electoral College, which is composed of delegates from all 50 states. 5 times in history, the system has elected a president who got fewer votes overall than their competitor, including Donald Trump in 2016, receiving 3 million fewer votes than Democratic challenger Hillary Clinton. The ballot measure would ask Michigan, who has 15 electoral votes, to become the 16th state to join an interstate compact that would take effect if more states pledge to award delegates based on popular vote. Backers of the Electoral College system say it ensures candidates pay attention to the needs of all states rather than simply population centers. Michigan has received outsized attention in recent campaigns as a swing state, and Anusis says he wants to ensure that remains. Quote, "Today, the only states that matter are battleground states. So for all practical purposes, what happens is we elect the president of the battleground states of America versus the president of the United States of America," said Anusis. Anusis also said the group expects to start circulating the petition sometime in December. The compact, called the National Popular Vote, was created in 2006 by the University of Michigan alum John Koza. The group has heavily lobbied in Michigan, at times inviting lawmakers to trips to Hawaii and Puerto Rico. In 2018, Michigan GOP lawmakers introduced legislation to U.S. presidential contests by a national popular vote. Many Republicans supported the bill, including current House Speaker Jason Wentworth, a Republican from Farwell. Wentworth now opposes the plan. Gideon DeSandro, Wentworth's spokesperson, told Bridge, Michigan, that Wentworth, quote, has learned more about it in years since then. Sure he has. Most of the Republican lawmakers in the Michigan legislature, including Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, a Republican from Clark Lake, signed a letter last month opposing the national popular vote. Quote, it is imperative that the candidate who receives Michigan's electoral votes is determined by Michiganders, not by voters in other parts of the country, the letter signed by 47 lawmakers said. Quote, this proposal would give big cities on the East and West Coast veto power over voters in Michigan. It's a disastrous idea and one that should remain in the scrap heap of American history, end closed quote. Other critics have argued it will take away Michigan's political clout. Tom England, executive director of the anti-compact group Save Our States, told Bridge, Michigan, the popular vote system would eliminate the checks and balances created by the Electoral College. Quote, with the National Popular Vote Compact, states either accept other states' results or they just reject other states' results, England said. And you could have the Secretary of State of Michigan deciding whether to accept results from California or whether to accept results from Texas. That full article on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, as well as other headlines from across the state of Michigan and helpful links to resources from the CDC, the MDHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get the show started with Kurt Lawson, the Deputy Chief of Police in West Bloomfield. That will come up next at 10:20. At 10:40, Rebecca Waldron, the Executive Chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market, will join us. And then we'll kick off the 11 o'clock hour with Savin Jones, founder of and head esthetician at Skin Bar 7. And then at 11:20, Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and Hollie Kotwicki, a victim of a puppy scam, will be joining us to talk about that and other common scams going around this holiday season. And then we'll cap off the show with Paws for Life Animal Rescue's Courtney Protz-Sanders, their executive director and founder, to talk about that organization and more. That is all coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Achoo!
People are getting out to walk and bike in higher numbers. More vulnerable road users and higher speed traffic can be a dangerous combination. Crash severity has increased, so if you're driving, be sure to slow down and look for people. There's no need to speed. If you're biking, ride with traffic. If you're walking, avoid stepping into the road if possible. If you have to walk in the street, walk facing traffic. Learn more at walkbikedrivesafe.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
One of the things you can look for in your friends is a change in behavior. These can be big changes, they can be small changes in mood, physical appearance. They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, drinking more, or their eating patterns may be different. One big change that can be pretty obvious is change in motivation. Do they no longer want to play basketball? Do they no longer want to play video games? Now that we're spending more time online and in virtual settings, it's really important to pay attention to the language that your friend is using and the words they're using to communicate. So when we text our friends, are they taking longer amounts of time to respond? Are they not responding at all? You don't have to be an expert to try to recognize these signs. The second that you feel it in your gut and that you're concerned, that's the second to have the conversation and open the door to what might be going on.
Whatever gets you talking.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, alongside Calvin Brown, our studio producer and board operator, with me in the studio each and every day, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon during our live shows. You can learn more information about all the places that we broadcast and find all of our full episodes and interviews online on demand on civiccentertv.com. /Megacast, or just go to civiccentertv.com and click on our Megacast page. Joining us now is Kurt Lawson. He's the Deputy Police Chief of the West Bloomfield Police Department, who has some job openings right now and is looking to hire some people in a variety of different places. Kurt, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Always great to be with you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. So, as I said, you're accepting applications for police officers at this time. In order to be considered, the deadline is approaching. It's a week from yesterday, a week from Monday, November 22nd is that deadline. What are some of the positions that are available, or the opportunities available, if officers are looking to either join the department or become a police officer and have this be the first job in the industry?
Well, we have several positions open. I guess just like most of the country, everyone's looking for help out there, right? But currently, we're looking for police officers, and we're looking for communication dispatchers. We have 4 positions open for dispatcher. We have 4 positions open for police officer. So we're looking. I always say this: we're looking for the very best. It's been a little bit more difficult to find the very best these days. But we're certainly not going to lower our standards. As far as the dispatcher position, we're really looking for someone that's calm under stress, the ability to communicate effectively, and that works well with the team. And if you're a police officer at another jurisdiction right now and you need a change, we would love to have you right here in West Bloomfield.
And so Kurt, in terms of people that may be new to police work or may not have had previous jobs in other departments, if they have just been fresh out of the police academy, are there opportunities for them as well? Or if there's someone that has not gone through the police academy just yet, would there be potential for opportunities for them as well to either go through the police academy with some help from the West Bloomfield Police Department, or to potentially have a job lined up after they get through that?
Absolutely. If you've been through the police academy, if you have an associate's degree, we will definitely look at you to join our team. If you have not been through the police academy, like maybe you're still going to college, we have a great position called a police service aide. They work at our front desk. It's a great entry-level position with, quite frankly, pretty good pay, where you learn about the department, you learn how to deal with the public, you're taking reports, you're dealing with prisoners, you're really just kind of getting your foot in the door, and we get to look at you. And if we like you after a period of a year, we will send you to the police academy. We'll pay the bill, and then you're more than welcome to join our team.
We're joined by Kurt Lawson, Deputy Police Chief in the West Bloomfield Police Department, joining us today on the Megacast. And so you also said there are dispatch jobs available as well. In what capacity are those jobs available, and how many of them maybe are open?
So we're budgeted for 16 dispatchers. We currently have 13. One is on leave right now, but we're going to hire at least 3 or 4 dispatchers. It's been very difficult for us to find quality candidates, qualified candidates. But I think that's been like that across the industry and law enforcement. It's just been a very difficult time for us right now. But we keep going out. We're recruiting. We're looking for minority candidates. We're looking for people that are just interested in making a difference. And that's what our dispatchers do every day. They're amazing. It's a tough job. They have to work all sorts of different hours. There's a lot of stress. They do a fabulous job, and we're looking for the very best to fill our ranks.
And so when you say you're looking for the very best, and you're saying that you're also struggling in some cases to find those quality candidates, what makes for a quality candidate so that those that may be watching or listening and be interested in some of these jobs may be able to evaluate if they are someone that the West Bloomfield Police Department might be looking for?
Well, when you're a dispatcher, you're really a first responder. You're the first one that's having contact with the public over the phone, and you're giving some very crucial information to the person that you're talking to. You're gathering information while also providing them with what they need to do for their safety, or maybe they're giving CPR instructions, and you have to be very calm. You have to multitask. You're typing into the computer, giving information to the fire department or to responding police officers while you're verbally talking to the person over the phone. So there's a lot of different things going on. Not everyone can handle doing all these tasks at the same time. And you have to remain calm. That's the big thing. Remain calm, be able to think on your feet. And that's what these amazing dispatchers do day after day here in West Bloomfield.
Talk about one situation that requires a lot of quick and calm action. We had a water main break locally here just fairly recently. On November 1st is when the incident occurred, a 48-inch water main break at 14 Mile and Drake Road. What is the status currently with that? Has that issue been resolved? Because we haven't really heard any updates, and no news is usually some good news in those kinds of situations.
So I'm on a call almost every day about the water main break. It's a slow process. They've run into a little bit of, some problems here and there that slow the process down, unexpected problems. So we expect that roadway to be closed through this week, and then they have to do some water testing. So with the weather it's gone down into the 30s and sometimes a little bit below, it's been a difficult task for them, but you can expect to see 14 Mile west of Drake closed through this week. And then hopefully I'll be able to give an update coming this Friday.
We're joined by Kurt Lawson, Deputy Police Chief in the West Bloomfield Police Department, joining us today on the Megacast. Going back to the job openings, Kurt, if people are interested in those openings, they want to learn more information, they want to submit an application, how do they go about doing that?
Well, we want them to go to westbloomfieldtownship.org, take a look at our website. You can go right to Human Resources, pull up the application, what they need as far as qualifications. All of that is listed there. Or they can call our Human Resource Department at West Bloomfield Township Hall.
And so you mentioned that there are some incentives that are attached to some of these job openings, trying to attract some of those, as you said, best of the best candidates to join the rank and file over at the West Bloomfield Police Department. What are some of those incentives that are available so that people that may be looking for those kinds of things along with these job openings may be aware?
Well, what makes it really attractive, if you've got 4, maybe 5 years experience in another law enforcement agency, you can transfer over to our department and you'll be at a level 4, a level 3, depending on how many years of service you have. So you're going to start off at a higher pay. In West Bloomfield, we've been very fortunate. We give the very best benefits, have a pension program here. So we have a very attractive package here at the police department and the fire department. And I think that has caused many people to take a look at us. And we're going through the process of contract negotiations right now with the township. We're expecting to see additional benefits as we move forward, because we need to keep attracting the very best here.
Kurt, just another few minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. We're joined by Kurt Lawson, Deputy Police Chief with the West Bloomfield Police Department. Anything else that people should know at this time about these job openings or any other important information from the police department here in West Bloomfield?
Well, there's a couple things I want to touch on. We have seen the crime is a little bit up here in West Bloomfield. Certainly nationally, we've seen crime increase by up to 30%. But here in West Bloomfield, we've seen a significant uptick in cases of fleeing and eluding, where individuals are just not stopping. We're trying to make a traffic stop, whether that's for speeding or equipment violation. And some, usually younger people, are just not stopping. And I want to remind them that if you fail to stop for a police officer that has their lights and siren on, you're potentially looking at a felony charge down the road, which is going to affect the rest of your life. So I would just throw it out there to our young people that, you know, they watch movies and they think it's really cool, and they're being maybe followed by the police officer that's trying to stop them, and they have it on social media. You are going to affect the rest of your life by doing that, and I wouldn't recommend it. We're also seeing more thefts of vehicles within the township. It's really something I have never seen in the 26 years that I've been here, the number of cars that have been stolen. We're seeing individuals coming to the township looking for Challengers, Chargers, these vehicles that are, you know, kind of like you see in the movies, that are kind of super fast vehicles that people are leaving in their driveways, and they're being stolen. So we encourage people to park their cars in the garage. If you have either a Challenger or a Charger, certainly put a camera on it from your house, get some lighting on it, protect your asset. And then another thing that we're seeing quite a bit of in the last probably 8 months, speeding's been a problem, especially along the Orchard Lake corridor. So we're just encouraging everyone just to slow down, take your time. We are definitely aware of the speeding problem, and we're going to take the necessary steps to slow everyone down, and so everyone can arrive at their destination safely.
Well, Kurt, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime. Take care.
Again, you can learn more information about those job openings and apply by going to West Bloomfield's website at wbtownship.org. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Rebecca Waldron, the executive chef of Busch's Fresh Food Market, will join us on the Megacast. That's all coming up next. You're watching and listening to us on a family of TV, radio, and other media outlets.
Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation. Just one person can potentially save or help improve the lives of up to 75 people. By joining, your legacy could be the gift of life. Sign up today at michigan.gov/SOS or at any of the more than 145 Secretary of State self-service stations located across Michigan. Be part of Michigan's Bridge of Hope by adding your name to the Organ Donor Registry.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
211, how can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. With food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
a rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft in our studios here in West Bloomfield Township, although we're broadcasting all across Oakland County and around the state of Michigan on a number of different television, radio, and web outlets. Learn more about everywhere we're broadcasting, find out more about their other programming and the other 22 hours of the day, Monday through Friday, and over the weekends. And find all of our shows, interviews, including our next interview with Rebecca Waldron, the executive chef of Busch's Fresh Food Market, on our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast. Of course, as I said, we're joined now by Rebecca Waldron, the executive chef of Busch's Fresh Food Market, with us on the Megacast. Rebecca, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Appreciate having you on. So what are the duties of the executive chef of a grocery chain?
Well, it's a great job. So not only am I developing recipes, there's a lot of work costing recipes, it's developing programs. So developing programs for things like sandwiches, salads. There's a lot of research and development, which is really great. I also spend a lot of time training staff, and I go from store to store, more or less, and kind of work on our sets, our mentoring, our food quality, food safety, all of those things.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron, executive chef of Busch's Fresh Food Market, joining us on the Megacast. And so what brought you to Busch's Fresh Food Market? What's your background in the culinary industry that ultimately led up to you taking this really interesting job that you're in?
Well, it was an interesting road. I started off as a high school teacher. So when I graduated from college, I taught high school and had always wanted to kind of follow my dream of going into the culinary world. And at the time, I was young and I decided that I was going to make a change. And so I started working for Busch's and then subsequently went through culinary school at Schoolcraft College. And after that, after I graduated, and I was a corporate chef and then eventually executive chef. So not a traditional role, not a traditional path to executive chef that you hear a lot.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She is the executive chef of Busch's Fresh Food Market. Learn more information on Busch's.com. That's BUSCHS.com to learn more about the chain. So you're promoting healthy holiday meals at this moment in time. That's the current campaign from you and from your team over at Busch's Fresh Food Market. Tell us about what's available at the market right now, or will be available as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday and the other holidays in December that may be more on the healthier side, but also on the tasty side.
Well, I mean, we have tasty and we have healthy. So we have a lot of options. We have a turkey dinner, a pre-cooked, ready to reheat turkey dinner that serves 6 to 8 people. That's a 10-pound turkey. And there are some pretty traditional sides. So, sweet potatoes, mashed sweet potatoes, obviously. We have some mashed potatoes, we have gravy. So and stuffing, all of the things that you would consider part of a traditional turkey dinner. And we also have a turkey breast dinner for those who just want a smaller meal or who want to just eat the white meat. We have a breast meal. So there are a lot of options that you can go with those dinners that are more on the healthy side. Roasted potatoes, we have vegetables. So obviously it just depends on what crowd you're feeding and what your tastes are.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She is the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market. So if people are looking to get some of these different meals that are available, or maybe some of the side dishes that are available in time for the Thanksgiving holiday or fresh on the day of, is there going to be availability for that, or should they be starting either now or early on next week to kind of get in line for those products?
Well, we have our turkey dinners, turkey dinners and our ham dinners. The deadline for that is you have to place your order by this Sunday. So if you want one of the dinners, you got to place your order by this Sunday. However, We will be open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're closed on Thanksgiving this year. But I would say the sooner you get your plans together and the sooner you get out and get your shopping done, the better, because we know that the few days leading up to Thanksgiving are going to be very, very tight. There's going to be a lot of people going through the store.
And so in terms of piecing these holiday meals together and these dishes together that will be available during the holiday seasons, both in November and in December, where do those ideas generate from for you and from your team? And then ultimately, how do they come together to then be put to market at Busch's?
We start pretty much in the summer. So everybody's thinking about summer. We're thinking about Thanksgiving in June and July. So we're putting together our ideas for the holiday meals. And so, we always have to have the traditional sides. Everybody loves the traditional sides. So that's kind of a non-negotiable that you have to have. But we also think about other options. People have to eat the day before Thanksgiving. They want to eat the entire weekend, and so they might not want turkey. So we think about different options, what people might want, look at trends, look at how people are purchasing food. So, grab and go, or what are they looking for? And so we start to put together ideas, and then we just, we look at a lot of different food. We taste a lot of different food, which is great. And then we kind of assemble all of our stuff together and put a package out to show our guests. Probably we get it ready and we want to put it out there sometime in September and October.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She is the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market with us today on the Megacast. Learn more at Busch's.com, including about their Busch's holiday meals for Thanksgiving. Meal orders do require a 48-hour advanced notice and will be accepted up until this week Sunday, November 21st. Again, 48 hours notice, and you will need to be letting them know that by going to Busch's.com or by calling your local Busch's market to get one of these orders in time for Thanksgiving. And again, they're due by Sunday, November 21st. And so in these holiday meals, they have a number of different main course options. Take us on to run through some of those options that are available, as people not only during the Thanksgiving holiday will go for the traditional turkey. Some of them like it a different way, but there are also other meal options as well for those that prefer not to go with the traditional turkey.
Right. So obviously we have turkey and turkey breast. We also have 2 ham meals. So for people who want, maybe they're cooking their turkey and they want a different entree, so we do have a ham option. We also have a prime rib that's ready to go in the oven. It is not pre-cooked because pre-cooking prime rib is fraught with peril. And so we prefer to have it ready to go with cooking instructions. So we have that available. And then obviously we have a ton of side dishes. What we found more and more is that people are feeding a lot of different folks who have restrictions in their diets, perhaps, who are vegan or vegetarian. So we have a whole bunch of different side dish options for your Thanksgiving or your winter holidays that are, will give you a nice, well-rounded meal.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She is the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market, joining us today on the Megacast. Again, Busch's holiday meals for Thanksgiving are available now through November 21st will be the last day they'll accept those orders. They require 48 hours notice in advance before they will be received. And so also at Busch's Fresh Food Market, you have a deli that features an extensive number of products that are actually prepared in Busch's kitchens. Tell us a little bit about that process and how it may differ at Busch's Fresh Food Market, being it's an independent chain, versus some of the larger grocery chains that are also in our local area.
We are very fortunate. We are able to partner with a lot of very reputable vendors. So for example, Beirut Bakery, they make tremendously, just really great, healthy Middle Eastern salads. So we do have some vendor partners that we trust. The items that we make in store, they're all made with the idea that it's something that you would want, something that you would be proud and happy to feed your family and your friends. And so we always try to source the best ingredients. We are always, using the best technique to try and get something that will not only will look great when you look at it in our case or in our grab and go sections, but when you get home will also taste very good. A lot of times things you'll see out there don't necessarily taste great. You get them home, you heat them up, and it's not great. We pride ourselves in having food that is actually going to be great when you get it home and is going to give you a very, very satisfying meal experience.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She is the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market, joining us on the Megacast. Learn more information by going to their website at bushes.com. They have 16 local stores, including in West Bloomfield, Rochester Hills, and Novi, among the many in our immediate coverage area and where we originate here in Oakland County. And you can learn more information on bushes.com, including about their holiday meals for Thanksgiving. Those meal orders requiring a 48-hour advance notice and will only be accepted through November 21st, which is this week's Sunday. And so, Rebecca, where do you get the ideas for the products that you do sell there? Of course, beyond the meals, there are other products that do come in through the year as well. How are those ideas generated? Obviously, as you mentioned earlier, Thanksgiving and the holiday meals are something that you're planning in advance year-round, but these other ideas that pop up, where do those come from?
Well, I mean, it's a combination. Usually the deli team sits down. We talk about what people are looking for. So what are our guests asking for? What are our guests buying? We look at the trends and see what our guests are buying, what they want more of. We also will look at industry trends. You know, what's the cool thing right now that we're seeing in restaurants or we're seeing in magazines or online. So we're constantly looking to innovate and try fun things that people are going to enjoy. We look at health trends. We look at cost. All of those things go into the mix. Obviously, seasonality is a huge part of that. We always try to use local seasonal vegetables whenever possible. And so once we're going into summer, we're going to be looking at, what can we do with all of these great things that are coming to our markets. So really, it's a combination of things, and we create a lot of things. We have a lot of ideas, and then we just kind of make the recipes and taste them and kind of whittle it down to this core group of recipes that we come out with generally pretty seasonally. So you'll see something else coming out probably in January, something coming out in spring, summer, all year long.
We're joined by Rebecca Waldron. She's the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market with us on the Megacast. You can learn more about all their products that are available for the holiday season and others that pop up throughout the year, and provide your own customer feedback by going to their website at bushes.com. And so, Rebecca, how has COVID-19 affected the work that you and your team do over there? You as the executive chef, and then your team also preparing these products and being able to be in the kitchen together?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously it was a very rough year for everyone. And so we try to, personally, we try to be safe in our kitchens. We try to make sure that we are following all of the health protocols. Not only that, but we are also looking to what our guests want as far as how their lives have changed. We've noticed that there is a much greater demand for grab-and-go meals, entire meals, not so much of a demand for things like a salad bar or something that you have to serve yourself. There's a lot more demand for things that you can just pick up and feed your family. More people are staying home working, so we've had to kind of alter our programs. Maybe you're not getting sandwiches that you're taking to lunch. Maybe you want something else. So we've tried to really address what our guests are looking for and how their lives have changed, primarily to decide what we're putting out there and how we're going to market with everything.
Well, Rebecca, thank you for joining us. We have a few more minutes before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else that would be interesting for our audience to know, or anything else that we haven't spoken about today that you'd like to discuss?
Oh, it's really, the holidays are kind of the Super Bowl in the grocery store world. It's just, we know that it's going to be a great few days, and there's a lot of energy in our stores. So we really appreciate that. We really appreciate our guests. We really appreciate them being in our stores and shopping with us and making the choice to be there. And we love that. We love that energy. We want to make your holidays absolutely perfect this year. So, if there's anything that we can do, please feel free to ask our staff and our associates, because we're really excited about what's going to be coming in the next couple months.
You can learn more on their website at bushes.com, where you can also learn more about how you can order their holiday meals coming up as well. And of course, again, those require 48 hours notice and are only going to be taken through Sunday, November 21st. That is this week's Sunday. Rebecca, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Rebecca Waldron, she is the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market. Learn more information on their website at bushes.com. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll kick off the second hour of the Megacast by being joined by the head esthetician at Skin Bar 7. And she's also the founder of that organization as well. That's coming up next on your radio homes for the Megacast. 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Today's edition of the Megacast continues after this.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you.
Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime-victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike? And you did. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is a source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside our studio producer and board operator Calvin Brown in our studios here in West Bloomfield Township. Although we're broadcasting all throughout the Oakland County area and across the state of Michigan on a number of different community television and radio stations, as well as online on our website at civiccentertv.com and on My Michigan TV. You can learn more about everywhere that we broadcast, find our full episodes and interviews on demand as well by going to civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link. Joining us now is Seven Jones. She's the founder and head esthetician at Skin Bar 7. With us today on the Megacast. Seven, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about Skin Bar 7 and some of the different products and different services that you provide there.
All right, I'd be more than happy to. Skin Bar 7, we are located at 18951 Livernois Avenue. We are Detroit's premier facial spa, the first one located in the inner city community, bringing luxury to the neighborhoods. We do facials, we do acupuncture, we do pop-ups with IV hydration, and we do retail sales with all types of products and services for skin care and overall health and wellness.
And so, especially in the times that we're in, people are busy. They've always been busy, but they're busier than ever, especially with all the extra steps everyone's got to be taking because of the pandemic and other crises that we're under right now. And that doesn't even include the stress of the holiday season. All of that can compound into some skin care issues or just skin issues in general. And that doesn't even account for the colder months of the year. And so what issues do you then see during more stressful times of the year and some people that do visit Skin Bar 7? And what are some of the ways that you help to treat their skin so that those stresses don't end up turning into blemishes?
So at Skin Bar 7, when you come to get a facial, it's an experience. When you come in, you're greeted by our receptionist, and the environment just says, leave it outside. It's an opportunity for our clients to decompress, relax, and with everything that's going on as far as the pandemic, work, life, stress, just the new world we live in, 1 hour can drastically change your mood, change your appearance, and overall support your health because you get to take a nap, you get to revitalize yourself, and you just get to step away from the chaoticness of day-to-day living. So one of the things, that's kind of like the main thing. When you come in, a lot of times people just don't know what to use these days. So skincare issues are often caused by 90% by people using sometimes the right product the wrong way or just the wrong product altogether. So when you come in, we're going to give you a skin analysis, see what your skincare goals are and what you're doing to make sure they're aligned with those skincare goals, and put you on a treatment plan and give you the facial to get you started to accomplish those goals.
We're joined by Seven Jones. She's the founder and head esthetician at Skin Bar 7. You can learn more information about their products, their services, and how you can get help from them by going to their website at skinbar7. That's skinbar7.com. Skinbar7.com. And so, Seven, you founded. You're the founder and the head esthetician over there at Skin Bar 7. And before that, you had over 10 years of experience in the industry. What led you to begin Skin Bar 7? How does your business differ from others in the industry?
Well, what led me to start, I kind of always knew that I wanted to have my own business, but I just didn't know what I could do that could actually sustain my lifestyle. I wanted to keep a healthy work-life balance, and I wanted to be able to raise my children at the same time. So before doing that, it was about 2 years of research and really trying to find myself. And I was already in the laser hair removal and skin rejuvenation business for 10 years. And so I had that prior knowledge, and I just decided to build upon that. And plus, it was a passion. I've always loved skincare. When I was younger, me and my cousins were always having the Noxzema or the mint julep green mask that some people may be familiar with. we were doing that constantly. So as I began to build upon that, I started working in a barbershop where I would just specialize in male grooming. And then it became really lucrative, and people really liked the way that I do facials, and I was seeing results. And I pretty much found a gray area in skincare and African-American skin, because a lot of times we would go to dermatologists and their needs and issues just were not being met. Simply, a lot of times because they just didn't have a good regimen. Their skin wasn't necessarily sick, like with a cancer or a medical issue. They simply didn't have a good home regimen or protocol, or never even receiving professional services. So from there, I just built upon my clientele, just grew. Next thing you know, I was always booked up for like 2-3 months in advance for about 3 or 4 years straight. And then I finally was able to open up my own facial spa, which we are celebrating our 2-year anniversary this Friday. So I opened November 19th of 2019.
We're joined by Seven Jones. She is the founder and esthetician founder and head esthetician over at Skin Bar 7, joining us today on the Megacast. And so, in terms of people and their skincare routines, what sort of help can your business provide in them, not only determining what their skincare routine should be, but the products that they may be able to use to help fulfill that routine and keep their skin looking nice?
Well, we like to start you off with something basic. That way we can get your skin used to professional products. So everybody should have a basic routine. Cleanse, tone, moisturize. That's basic, morning and night, with the proper cleanser. So whether your skin is oily, congested, dry, sensitive, a professional can help you determine which cleanser is best for you to start that balancing. Then we kind of add on from there and see what your needs are, adding in the professional treatments such as dermaplaning, chemical peels, microdermabrasion, micro needling, whatever we need to insert in there to give you that boost to keep you revitalized and rejuvenated. And then you can keep it up at home with the maintenance program that we send you home with.
We're joined by Seven Jones. She's the founder and head esthetician over at Skin Bar 7, joining us on the Megacast. Learn more information on their website at Skin Bar 7. That is Skinbar, the number 7.com. Skinbar7.com is their website. And so you mentioned earlier there are a number of different kinds of facials that you provide, and those services that you provide over at Skin Bar 7. What are some of those different services, and how do they differ, and what different results does one potentially provide to a customer versus another?
All right. So what makes us different over at Skin Bar 7 is that we are a results-driven skincare facility. All of our estheticians are highly trained, and I am constantly encouraging continued education. To pick a good esthetician, you definitely want someone that is experienced, because it takes time to see, you may see something 100 different times, and each time you'll get a different result. So one of the facials that we are proud of right now is a HydraFacial. It's like the who's who right now in facials. It's a skincare system that's patented, and it has a vortex tip on it that pretty much sandblasts the skin. So you get a really good deep power wash deep down in those pores. We're extracting, you get a light chemical peel. And at the end of the treatment, you can literally see in what we call our gunky reservoir, everything that we took out of your skin. So you can see the blackheads, you can see the oil, you can see all the congestion that we leave from that one session. So we're really excited about the HydraFacial.
We're joined by Seven Jones. She is the founder and head esthetician over at Skin Bar 7, joining us on the Megacast. You can learn more information on their website at skinbar7.com. And again, Seven, where is your business located? What are your hours? And how do people go about getting help from the services that you provide? Do they have to get appointments? Can they walk in?
Yeah, we do have walk-ins appointments. So on Tuesday is a great day to walk in. You can give us a call at 313-397-9919. We're located at 18951 Livernois Avenue. We are going to have an awesome anniversary sale this Friday because it's our anniversary from 10 to 2. So please feel free to stop by and join us for some mimosas, some treats. We have a new membership program that we're going to be rolling out. That's going to be so exciting. And we're going to have some Black Friday sales. We're going to have some good things coming up in December. We have a 12 days of Christmas promo that I'm revealing right now. So we got some really exciting things coming up for the next 2 months as we close out this last quarter.
We're joined by Seven Jones, founder and head esthetician over at Skin Bar 7, with us on the Megacast. Their website, skinbar7.com. And so, Seven, at this moment in time, being that we're in the holiday season, we're entering the colder months of the year. Why is now the best time for customers to get consultation from a business like yours at Skin Bar 7 and rebuild or build altogether their skincare routine?
Well, over the summer months, a lot of times that's where a lot of damage is done. We're having fun in the sun, we're vacationing and things like that. We're not using our sunscreen as we should. So at this time, we like to come in and kind of get all of that dead, old, damaged skin off so that we can encourage new skin cells to grow and revitalize and rejuvenate your skin. Also, every season, your entire body changes. So as the temperatures get colder outside, your skin can tend to dry out. So we need to make some adjustments in your cleanser, some adjustments in your moisturizers. We may turn the moisturizer up a little bit so that you're getting a more heavier moisturizer, so that we're protecting the skin against extreme climate temperatures and things like that. So we definitely need to know you need to know when it's time to make adjustments in your skincare, and that's what the professionals are for. We can help you identify that, because if you're not a professional, then you kind of don't know what to look for. And that's where your esthetician comes into play. So in the winter months, and even when it comes time to spring and fall, we're going to be making those adjustments again. And so we're there to hold your hand and guide you through those times.
Well, we're joined by Seven Jones. She's the founder and head esthetician over at Skin Bar 7 with us on the Megacast. Again, you can learn more information about them by going to their website at skinbar7.com. And again, Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is their special 2-year anniversary celebration. We encourage you to join them for that. And again, learn more information about what will be going on at that event Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For their 2-year anniversary by visiting their website at skinbar7.com. And so, Seven, just another few minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. At this time, anything else that would be important for our audience to consider about their skincare routine, or anything else about your business that we haven't talked about at this time?
Yeah, you know what? Basically, having an esthetician is just very, very important in your life, because everyone right now, the beauty industry is so vain, and with TikTok and YouTube and everything, there's a lot of incorrect information being spewed out to the community. So you really need someone that is skillful to correct you so that you don't accrue any damages. Because a lot of times, people come in, they're ready for a chemical peel because they've seen it off YouTube and they want us to make them peel like a snake, but that necessarily isn't what you need. So getting correct information is very important. Our business, we're located in the inner city community. I'm proud to be in the inner city community because these services that are provided here are something that Detroiters in our community once had to travel to the outside suburbs to get, or they got to go downtown or anything like that. And you really want to be able to get things that you need in your community. No more traveling, 20, 30 minutes when you can just go right around the corner and feel like you're in the suburbs. You get quality, excellent customer service, and you feel great. So we are there Tuesday through Saturday. We do take walk-ins appointments. We have complete body waxing. We do acupuncture. We do IV hydration, chemical peels, dermaplane, hydrofacial. Everything there is to do and know about skincare, we do it at Skin Bar 7, and we have a very knowledgeable staff and team that is there waiting to assist you.
Seven, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us, telling us more about your business, and providing some helpful tips for people looking to improve or build their skincare routine at this moment in time.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, their 2-year anniversary event this Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at their location on Livernois. And again, you can learn more information about them by going to their website at skinbar7.com or by joining them and going in for walk-ins, particularly on Tuesdays, or going in there for their regular hours Tuesdays through Saturdays when they're open. Again, more information on their website, skinbar7.com. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll be joined by the Better Business Bureau of Michigan's CEO and President Melanie Duquesnel, as well as Hollie Kotwicki, someone that recently fell victim to a puppy scam. We'll talk about that and more common scams and other issues that the Better Business Bureau is seeing this holiday season. Coming up next, you're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line, for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
To Sophia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Calvin Brown, our studio producer and board operator, joining me Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon in our studio in West Bloomfield Township. Although we're broadcasting all throughout the state of Michigan on My Michigan TV and a number of different television, radio stations, and web outlets as well, all throughout the state. Learn more information by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link, or just typing in civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Nearly 50 reported puppy scams have happened in Metro Detroit over the past 6 months, costing people upwards of $67,000 in total. And joining us now to talk about how those scams often go down and ways that you can avoid them, we're joined by Hollie Kotwicki, who was a recent victim of a puppy scam, as well as Melanie Duquesnel, the president and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau. Ladies, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate having you on. So let's start with you, Hollie. Tell us about your story. As you recently fell victim to a puppy scam, what happened to you and in this situation that ultimately led to you being scammed?
About September, my husband and I decided to start looking around for breeders. We went through AKC websites, found a list of questions to actually ask breeders to make sure that we were dealing with a good breeder and not a puppy mill, which was a concern of ours. The scams were not yet on our radar. We did interview a couple of them. The one that we chose was a very elaborate system. They had forms to fill out. They had answers to all of the questions. The AKC on their website recommends that you speak to them personally so that you can ask them questions directly, and they don't have the time to come up with a canned response so that they can get that out quickly. They answered all of them appropriately. They sent videos with music in the background and pictures and photos, email, text, called. It was very, very well done.
And so, Melanie, how common are these scams during the holiday season especially, but overall also?
Well, I'll give you a better statistic. So just in the last 3 months, out of all the money that our local communities have lost to online scams, and this puppy scam is an online scam, 54% are related to puppy scams alone. Wow. And when you're looking at the last 3 months, we have, just in our little microcosm of the world, lost over $15,818, with another $2,000 that was attempted, but the customer realized that this is going the wrong direction. So, you know, when you're looking at, that's only 17 reported scams. That's a lot of money per loss when you're talking about scams. If you think about the holidays are when everybody really wants to have that cool gift, and the kids have been tugging on your shirt going, Dad, I want a puppy, I want a puppy, and you want to make them happy. And going out during times of COVID can kind of scare you. So this seems like the best way to do it. And in Hollie's situation, she did all the right things. She just found a really good scam artist.
We're joined by Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and Hollie Kotwicki, victim of a recent puppy scam as well. And so, Hollie, for you, when did that realization come to you? When did that bell ring off that you had been scammed or you were being scammed? And what were your initial reaction or steps that you took afterwards to try to either counteract that issue or, at the very least, report it and help other people avoid those scams?
We were asked to make a deposit using Zelle. I'd never used it before. They gave me some information. They sent me a form on how to set it up through the bank, so I did. And they asked me in the memo section to put the names of the puppies that I was interested in purchasing, and I did. They also wanted a little bit extra money, and I hit a daily limit on Zelle. So I was going to send the money through another bank account using Zelle again. And I made the happy mistake of putting the word puppy, because I didn't feel like typing in the names. And the bank I was dealing with caught the scam, called me right away, stopped the transaction. I then spent quite a bit of time on the phone with their department, called the local police department here in White Lake, made a report there, filed a report online with the Better Business Bureau, and also contacted local television station where they ran an expose on that trying to get the information out so it doesn't happen to others.
We're joined by Hollie Kotwicki, victim of a recent puppy scam, as well as Melanie Duquesnel, who's the president and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau. And so, Melanie, what are some of those red flags that potential consumers who are looking for a puppy from a breeder or from a shelter that they find or some other source, what are some of those red flags that they should be looking out for during the process of exploring, adopting a puppy or another animal, or in the process of making that purchase?
One of the interesting things is that they use stock photography. So if you were to take the picture of the puppy that you really have fallen in love with and put it into Google and see if Google Images can pop it up again in a different website, you'd be quite surprised how often that happens. So that's one red flag. The other one is if they're really trying to get you to use a different payment method. We've heard gift cards being used, like an Apple Card. We've heard of Zelle and Venmo and those kind of things. We've even heard of Bitcoin being used to acquire dogs. Those are all systems in which you cannot track the money once it's gone. You can't reverse the charge. So that's another red flag. If they're able to take your credit card, you have some safety in it, but it's still a hassle, so recognize that. The other thing is that if you cannot see the dog, touch the dog, interact with the dog, it's not a good idea to even move forward with it. And sometimes the breeder is out of state, so it's inconvenient to get there. So you want to make sure that you reserve some time, jump in your car, or if it's that far away, jump on a plane and go interact with the dog. There are very legitimate breeders across the country, and AKC's website has some wonderful tips on how to identify a good breeder. The difficulty is that we're finding scammers are so good at this. And Hollie is sadly one of their victims, but they will look at your search on the internet of what kind of dogs you're looking for, and then they'll start populating with their fake websites on what the breed is, and there goes your too good to be true opportunity.
We're joined by Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau. Learn more information at easternmichiganbbb.org or by going to bbb.org. We're also joined by Hollie Kotwicki, a victim of a puppy scam recently in our local area. And so, Melanie, in process, what actions can be taken? If someone's going through the process, something seems too good to be true, something seems off, they realize one of those red flags, whether it be doing a reverse image search by right-clicking on a photo and just clicking the search Google for an image function that's often available in browsers, or the weird payment methods, the odd payment methods that are being asked. If they're in that point in the process and they realize they might be being scammed, what actions can they take and should they be taking to A, avoid being scammed, but also to report this potential scam for investigation?
Sure. Well, Hollie did it absolutely to the book. She notified law enforcement. She contacted us here at the BBB. She worked with her bank to say, can we stop the interaction, the cost that's going to go down with this? The sad thing is that when you use those third-party unusual payment programs, the likelihood of getting your money back is slim to none. So again, if the breeder is not communicating, if the breeder is unwilling for you to come see the animal, those are huge red flags. So stop, cease and desist, and then try to recapture your money as fast as you can.
We're joined by Hollie Kotwicki, victim of a puppy scam, as well as Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO. And so, Hollie, in terms of what you have done since you and your husband came to the realization that you had been scammed while looking for a puppy, have you been able to successfully recover the funds that you had lost, or have you been able to get any sort of word moving forward in your case of maybe catching these people that had scammed you or moving along in that process?
No. There is nothing, as Melanie said, that they can do. I did also report it to the fraud department at Zelle. They'll keep an eye out, and they are pretty good at trying to catch it when they can, but they don't guarantee anything, and there's no refund of the money. So the money that was lost was lost. I hope at some point it goes to feed somebody who needed it if they're stealing it. I can't do anything but that. But we did manage to find on the western part of Michigan a very wonderful breeder, and I'm the proud mom of 2 little Chihuahua girls. So yeah, it does work out. And there were some very nice emails that I received from the broadcast about people that were in the area that had similar things. We actually let the scam go beyond where we knew we were being scammed to see what the next steps would be so that we could properly report them. The second half of buying the puppy and the second scam is actually the shipment of it. They charge a rental fee, which is an exorbitant amount of money that they place on your credit card and will refund after taking a small fee. So what you might lose in the $1,000 puppy that you purchased, the shipping of that puppy is a $150 rental, to which they take a $3,500 deposit on your credit card. So now they have your address, your phone number, a picture of you, your driver's license to prove where you live, and a copy of your credit card. The second half of that scam is actually far more beneficial to them than the first half.
Wow. So, yeah, thank you for taking those steps and for letting people know that that's a common next step in that process, so that if they haven't recognized at the point that you recognize you've been scammed, that at that point they really start asking questions. And Melanie, you had something to say as well.
So really where Hollie is going with it is that it becomes a personal private information scam where they take now your profile and leverage to their benefit. So they're going to now open credit in your name and potentially damage your credit rating. So when you're looking at what you're sharing with an online puppy organization or any online shopping, you have to be very, very careful on what you're doing with it. So in this case that Hollie had gone through, you also are best to post something on your credit report that this happened, and all 3 of your credit reports. And in my 2 cents, I would actually lock down my personal credit report so nobody could open credit in my name after an event like this.
And usually when you do that too, with one credit bureau, they will communicate with the other credit bureaus that that's been done. Is that correct?
I'm not 100% certain on that, to be honest with you. So I would just, me being extra special careful, I would contact all 3.
Yeah, better to contact all 3 and already have that be done after contacting one and make sure it's done than to not contact at all, and maybe they're able to slip through the cracks with your information on one credit report versus the other. We're joined by Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and Hollie Kotwicki, a recent victim of a puppy scam, with us on the Megacast. And so, Melanie, in terms of these scammers, are they more commonly posing from what the Better Business Bureau knows about these specific scams? Are they more commonly posing as breeders or as shelters? And if it's one versus the other, you mentioned some of the steps people can, some of the red flags, but what are some of the steps people can take to verify that these are accredited shelters, at least in that case, and can they do that with breeders as well?
So accredited shelters, generally not, because they're charities. They're usually nonprofits. So, but from the perspective of breeders, you can go to the akc.com or .org organization and verify that they're a registered breeder. And the reason that breeders are more prevalent than shelters is that shelters usually provide dogs at a less costly price. Breeders are going to ask for $800, $1,000. We've seen some particular breeds that are going for $5,000 and $7,000. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, that's where the money lies. And when Hollie was talking about the shipping, they're going to take a $3,500 hold of your credit card. You're not going to get that back. Yes, they say it's only going to be $150 at the end of the day, but they're looking for as much money as they can get out of you. So they're going to take that $3,500 hold and never release it.
We're joined by Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and Hollie Kotwicki, victim of a recent puppy scam. So Melanie, during the holiday season, you mentioned that that's an easier time for a lot of these scammers to get through to people that are looking to add a puppy or looking to add another animal to their home and run one of these scams, maybe run it a lot quicker than they would in other cases. What are some other, as we head into this holiday season, common scams we see during the holiday season, but also different or more common scams that we're seeing as we approach this particular holiday season in 2021?
Well, as we recognized last year, online shopping was the best thing you could do because you never had to go out in the cold. You didn't have to fight with the crowds. Granted, there were no crowds, but we have gotten really comfortable in the whole online shopping. In fact, it's our highest, fastest growing segment of scams. So the mirroring of such as Target.com. It looks like Target, but instead of .com, it's CPM as the trailer. So you have to make sure that the website is actually the website you want. You have to punch in the address yourself, not click on some random link. The other thing is that you have to do your research. Now here's, as I mentioned earlier, some of the scammers are trolling us and watching what we're looking to buy. Disconnect for a good period of time, probably at least a day, and then go back and do your research on which retailers you want to work with, because you want to disconnect your trolling so they don't insert themselves in the middle. In fact, 74% of the online shopping victims were unresearched. Just buy it quick. Look at that right rail in Facebook and just, hey, that looks great. It's a great price. Click it. And they don't even get the product. They lose the money. They don't get the product. They don't even get bad product. They get no product. So you have to take your time and make sure that you're in the driver's seat.
We're joined by Melanie Duquesnel, President and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and Hollie Kotwicki, a victim of a recent puppy scam. Joining us on the Megacast. Learn more information, of course, about different scams and different things to be looking out for from the Michigan Better Business Bureau by visiting easternmichiganbbb.org or from the National Better Business Bureau at bbb.org. And in terms of those breeders and trying to find accredited breeders, that website is akc.com. That is akc.com. And so, Melanie, Hollie, just a few more minutes with both of you. I'll start with you, Melanie. Anything else at this time that people should be aware of in terms of potential scams or schemes that they may fall victim to this holiday season, or even outside of the context of the holidays, or anything else that we haven't spoken about today?
Sure. Let's talk about charity giving. It's the time that a lot of people give their money, donate their money. Make sure that the organization that you want to give to, make a list ahead of time and know exactly how much you want to budget to give away. And then you initiate it. Don't wait for people to call you, because you cannot verify a phone call or a text message that it's the American Cancer Society or Susan G. Komen. If you're driving the donation, you know that it will go there. So you have to be ready and able to do that. And then when you're looking at which charity to donate to, some folks get their heads wrapped around, well, only so much of my dollars are going to the actual program. You can find that out in their annual reports. So look for that and make sure that you recognize that payroll also is part of program expense, because you can't generally get a program out there unless a human is actually delivering the program.
And then, Hollie, anything else for us today? Anything else you'd like to say, or something we didn't discuss about puppy scams or your story that you'd like to speak about today?
One of the reasons that we looked for a smaller breeder was we need to support the smaller breeders to prevent the puppy mills, and to take a look at local shelters. And for people to be more informed about what's going on and not necessarily be shied away from my story, but to be more cautious. And to still go ahead and support those small breeders and businesses and utilize the tools, the AKC. And sometimes when you do it all right, you still lose a little bit of money.
And that's really sad. But I will say again, Hollie did all the right things ahead of time. It's just they are really, really sophisticated these days, and they recognize that it's easier to do this than sometimes going out on the street and defrauding somebody.
Again, we've been joined by Melanie Duquesnel, the president and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, as well as Hollie Kotwicki, who recently fell victim to a puppy scam. Again, for more information on accredited breeders and to cross-reference the information you have from a breeder you may be discussing purchasing a puppy from, that you can go to akc.com and go to a recognized and trusted expert in breed health and training information for dogs, the American Kennel Club. That was suggested by Melanie and by Hollie today. Ladies, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Again, for more information from the National Better Business Bureau, that is bbb.org. From the Michigan Better Business Bureau, Eastern Michigan bbb.org. And again, for those wanting to look into the breeders that they may be in discussion with about purchasing a puppy or any other animal, go to AmericanKennelClub.com, although that is specifically for puppies. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll be joined by both Brian Peterson of Bees in the D and Garrett Pasiak from the Detroit City Distillery to talk about their special seasonal honey bourbon and more. That is coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Joining us now is Garrett Pasiak. He's the brand ambassador at Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, the founder of Bees in the D, as we approach Black Friday or the holiday season. And that also means that the honey bourbon from Detroit City Distillery and Bees in the D will be back as well. So they're both with us with a couple of bottles of the honey bourbon as well as we preview this. Gentlemen, thanks for being back with us today.
Absolutely. Always great to be with you.
So let's start with Garrett, because the Detroit City Distillery is brewing this honey bourbon in partnership with Bees in the D. How did that relationship begin between Detroit City Distillery and Bees in the D?
So what ended up happening was, Bees in the D approached our owner, Michael Forsythe, and what they do is we found out that Brian can speak better to this than I, that they've got beehives all over the city, okay? And so what ended up happening is they said, you know something, can we go ahead and use your factory roof, set up some hives? I believe we've got 2 hives up there. And it just makes sense when you're talking about bourbon, different things that you can do with it after it's like legal regulations. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. And it just goes honey and bourbon, especially with, the fall and the autumn and winter coming up. Just a couple years back, they said, you know something, why don't we go ahead, let's collaborate. Let's go ahead and use your bourbon barrels to go ahead and age some honey in. After that's done, let's go ahead and age bourbon in the honey barrel. All right. So it was a really, really fun concept that just came together with Bees in the D's and Detroit City Distillery. And we are super excited it happened, and we're continuing it on. for years to come, hopefully. Yeah, we're super excited for this release. It's going to be a really, really great time, and that's how the partnership ended up happening. So,
and then for you, Brian, having this partnership with Detroit City Distillery to sell this bourbon, how does that then help Bees in the D not only spread its message and its cause throughout the Detroit area and raise awareness for that, but also financially, when we know that nonprofits and other organizations that are doing great work around our communities, especially during the pandemic, have really struggled to continue to bring in those regular funds?
So this partnership is huge for us for a couple of reasons. Of course, you brought up finances. So this fundraiser for us allows us to continue our mission and further our education and get more hives out there to help with the bee conservation. But it's also really fun for us to work with other organizations. Detroit City Distillery, it's just like Garrett said, a perfect partnership. And that allows us to also do events where we are able to kind of trick adults into educating them. Whenever there's liquor involved, adults want to be there. And so we can have educational things there while people are enjoying their drinks, and share a little bit of more about what it takes for the bees to make the honey. And then, of course, like Garrett said, include it in the products. I mean, it doesn't get fresher than that. I think that's what makes this bourbon so incredible. It is literally honey from the roof of the factory where the bourbon is made.
We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, brand ambassador for the Detroit City Distillery, and Brian Peterson, the founder of Bees in the D, joining us today on the Megacast. Their two organizations, Honey Bourbon Limited Edition, will go on sale on Black Friday. $40 per bottle for the Bees in the D bourbon barrel aged honey, as well as they're also offering a signature rocks glasses set as well. $40 for a 2-glass set. Brian, if you can talk to us about that, and is that a new addition this year, and where did that idea come from?
Well, we actually started the rocks glasses because, I mean, you got to have something to put the bourbon in last year, just to see if people would be interested. And we were blown away with the response to it, because it kind of makes it a whole incredible set. You've got the bourbon, you've got the honey, and now you have something to serve the bourbon in. And the glasses, if you look, are absolutely amazing. It has that logo down at the bottom. And it comes in 2 glasses, and it's just another fun product, unique product that you can get that special loved one for the holidays. And we also even went as far to make a bourbon lip balm that goes along it using the wax. So it's a whole shebang of goodies that is kind of centered around the honey and the bourbon.
And then, so Garrett, these both the bourbon and the rocks glasses will be on sale beginning on Black Friday. It often sells out. The honey bourbon, at least in recent years, has sold out very quickly. About how quickly does it go, and when should people really get on to be shopping for this honey bourbon if they'd like to get this limited edition spirit?
That is a very good question, and I always tell individuals as soon as possible. The ones that have success of getting any type of limited edition release, especially this honey bourbon, it goes like that. Sometimes within 45 minutes to an hour. And what you want to do is, I always tell individuals, it's Black Friday, take the day off, set your alarm for about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, get up, get some coffee, maybe sip some honey bourbon, hot toddy, or anything like that. But definitely go to DetroitCityDistilleryShop.com. You want to be on there right at 8 o'clock. All right, if you wait till 8:30, you say, oh, it's not going to sell out that fast. You'll be surprised. Last year, believe it or not, I didn't even get a bottle myself. So that's how quickly it goes. Make a fun day out of it. Don't wait in line for a TV. Wait at your home in front of the computer for a limited edition bottle of the B's and the D's, bourbon aged honey, and the bourbon whiskey. So
Yeah, it's a lot warmer waiting in line for your computer at home instead of waiting in line for those TVs on Black Friday. We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, brand ambassador at Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, founder of Bees in the D. They're two organizations partnering once again this year for Detroit City Distillery's limited edition honey bourbon. It will be returning for the holidays. It goes on sale on Black Friday, November 26th, and as Garrett said, it suggests getting on their website right away, 8 o'clock in the morning when that goes on sale. DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. That's DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. And so, Brian, on top of the honey bourbon, still a lot going on with Bees in the D as we're going through the holiday season and approaching the end of the year. You have an upcoming event. It's a virtual event, outdoor adventure beekeeping exploration with Bees in the D. It's coming up just a little under a week from now, next week, Thursday. Tell us a little bit about that event, who it's for, and what people can experience if they attend.
Well, we are always trying to do more events, and that event actually is already sold out. Wow. So we're looking at adding a second one. It is actually our event that we do a partnership with the Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan, where they can earn the beekeeping patch. And so a lot of interest in that. So we're working with the Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan to get another date added to that as well.
We're joined by Bees in the D founder Brian Peterson, as well as Detroit City Distillery brand ambassador Garrett Pasiak on the Megacast. Again, you can learn more information about Detroit City Distillery and prepare yourself on the day of Black Friday to purchase their special honey bourbon in partnership with Bees in the D by going to DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop or just going to DetroitCityDistillery.com and clicking on the shop link at the top of the page. More information about Bees in the D at BeesInTheD.com. And so, Garrett, on the Detroit City Distillery side, not just the honey bourbon on the docket right now as an interesting drink or other product that's available through your organization, through your company. What else is what other special drinks are available at this moment in time that people may be interested in purchasing? May have lost Garrett there just briefly. We'll try to get back to him in just a moment. Again, you can learn more about Detroit City Distillery at DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, the brand ambassador of Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, founder of Bees in the D. Of course, they're partnering for their limited edition honey bourbon that's going to be returning to market on Black Friday. That is November 26th, the day after the Thanksgiving holiday. You can learn more information and shop for that at DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. And so it sounds like we have Garrett back with us. I can hear the bottles
Sorry about that.
in the background. Now, that's okay.
We're in a 25,000 square foot factory. We lose reception sometimes. So.
No, that's fine. That happens all the time. I'm glad to have you back, Garrett. So I asked, as we were losing you, I was asking, beyond the honey bourbon, there's still a lot of great products at Detroit City Distillery that are available at this time, that you're producing at this time, some special products maybe as well. Tell us a little bit about what's available right now that's capturing interest from your customers.
The biggest thing that's capturing interest right now is, of course, we always have our staple bourbon, all right, our Butcher's Cut bourbon. And then we also have our rye as well. So these ones right here, these are also available as well, in addition to the honey bourbon. But the big thing that a lot of people are super excited about is we added another bourbon to our line, and that's our 4-grain bourbon. Okay, so it's got a little bit of wheat in there. A really cool logo. Got the Packard Studebaker type theme there. That's going to be available as well. Again, bottle pickup for your honey bourbon is December 3rd at 4 p.m. at the Ryapel location over there in Eastern Market. And I don't know if you saw, we'll be serving a lot of fun drinks, a lot of fun treats from Bees in the D as well. This is a honey-themed old-fashioned. I'll put a little bit of orange in there. Got an apple on there. Just a really fun time to come out on December 3rd. At 4 p.m., pick up your bottles. That's when it starts. Really fun street party we're going to be having indoors. Stay warm, hot drinks. Our full line of bourbons, full line, of course, the featured honey bourbon as well from Bees in the D's. It's just going to be a great time. People have lots to look forward to when they come in. So,
Again, you can purchase the special edition honey bourbon on their website, DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop, or by clicking on the shop link at DetroitCityDistillery.com. That goes on sale on the morning of Black Friday, November 26th on their website. And then the pickup date, as Garrett just said, December 3rd at Eastern Market there at their location at Eastern Market. And they'll have other fun events and things to be doing there as well on that day. Just another few minutes with both of you, so I'll start with you, Garrett, since we're on you with our camera right now. Anything else that would be important for us to know or interesting for us to know or keep an eye out for in the future, beyond, of course, the honey bourbon at Detroit City Distillery?
Yeah, I mean, beyond the honey bourbon, this is one of our favorite collaborations. And with bourbon, we're established very well 7 years. We've been in business. We celebrated 7 years in September. We've got our staple products like our homegrown rye, our bourbon, our vodkas and gins. And sky's the limit when it comes to a lot of fun stuff to do. So I always encourage people, just always follow us, always check in, come down to the Eastern Market, not just to support Detroit City Distillery, but support, especially during the holidays, all small businesses down in Eastern Market. You never know what's going to come out of a brain of a distiller. You got the honey bourbon, who knows what's next? So it's always fun. You never know what's going to be next, and just always stay tuned for some special releases. And we're looking forward to the new year, doing a lot of fun stuff. Spring's going to come quick. So just always pay attention, always kind of keep your pulse on the whole Eastern Market and Detroit City Distillery, B's and the D's. You never know what's going to come next. So.
And then, Brian, on your side with B's and the D, what are some other things coming up in the near future around the holiday season and beyond the holiday season that people should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, of course, our bees are a little bit more dormant right now. We tucked them in for the winter, so we're not really doing any programs in the hives, but we will be doing some educational programs that you can look for on social media at Bees in the D or on our website. But I know that holiday gifts can be a little more difficult to get this year with everything that's going on. And so even if you aren't lucky enough to get one of these, the honey or the bourbon, we have a lot of other products. We even have the t-shirts that have this really awesome logo, the bourbon logo on it. Like I said, our lip balms, the rocks glasses, and of course our regular line of products as well, our honey, all of our different flavors of lip balms. So they're great gifts that are supporting, much like Garrett said, local. And that's what makes Detroit so special, that we have so many small local businesses that are working together. That's what we love about especially this collaboration with Detroit City Distillery.
Well, Brian, Garrett, we appreciate both of you joining us to preview, of course, the honey bourbon and tell us all about the other things, great things that are happening both at Detroit City Distillery and at Bees in the D. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Achoo! Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside our studio producer and board operator Calvin Brown here in our studios. Man, that last achoo at the end of that public service announcement gets me every time. It's entertaining. It's an attention grabber. A big thank you to everyone that joined us on today's edition of the Megacast. Deputy Police Chief Kurt Lawson from the West Bloomfield Police Department for joining us, talking about their open jobs over there. Learn more information, wbtownship.org. Rebecca Waldron, the executive chef at Busch's Fresh Food Market. Learn more information on bushes.com. Melanie Duquesnel and Hollie Kotwicki, who joined us to talk about puppy scams. Hollie, who, of course, unfortunately, recently fell victim to a puppy scam, and Melanie Duquesnel, the president and CEO of the Michigan Better Business Bureau, and then Brian Peterson from Bees and the D, and Garrett Pasiak from the Detroit City Distillery. Big thank you to our crew as well. Calvin Brown, our studio producer and board operator, Jared Clark, our Zoom producer today, and of course Larry Nyland, our booking producer, getting everybody booked to fill the interview time slots on our show, gathering all the information so that we can inform the public about everything that they're doing all throughout the state of Michigan. You can learn more information about the show, all of our partnering stations, and find us on demand on civiccentertv.com/megacast, and learn more information about COVID-19 from trusted, reliable, expert resources. You know, what a concept, learning information from people that actually know what they're talking about. Go by going to our website at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, clicking on the CDC, the state of Michigan, and the Oakland County links to learn more about COVID-19 all across the board as we continue to get more new information and continue through this recent surge in COVID-19. That's it for today's edition of the show over on Civic Center TV. It's a replay of the Heroes Appreciation Breakfast on My Michigan TV. It's Steve Leto Live up next, and we'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m.